Hey, welcome back to the Noonchi podcast.
Hey, everybody.
It's episode 111.
111.
Yeah. We have a special guest today.
Yes. And you know what? I think this recently was the first time I met him, right? So, and you know him better. So I want you to bring him out like you are Bruce Buffer from the UFC.
Oh, wait. Today we are introducing, coming in at, 150. I don't know. We have Joe Kim here today.
Hey.
Yeah. Good friend of ours. Joe is actually in the music industry. Mm-hmm. And that's how we kind of met. Yeah. And so Joe's a songwriter. I'll let him talk about some of the stuff people he's written for and some of the work you've done.
You could, the way you're dressed, Joe, you look like you work in the music industry. You have this like R&B kind of crooner vibe.
Pop R&B.
Yes. So Joe is in the house. Thank you for coming to the show, Joe.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah. And we met maybe like 10 years ago or something like that, right?
Longer than 10 years ago.
Long ago.
At a KCON. That's where
KCON event?
The first time we
met.
It was actually the very first KCON.
The first KCON.
Yeah. Wow.
You
in
were
LA.
there too.
Was I?
Yeah. We were all there. But then...
no. The one in Korea? Is it called
KCON. Yukon. We met at Yukon.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we met at Yukon. You were not there.
Of course not.
Yeah. So, and then... I remember the first time we actually met up in Itaewon, we had drinks with Lena Park.
Yes.
Yeah. Who you write music for.
That was a little bit after.
Okay.
Well, interesting thing about Lena, I'll bring her up already. When I was working as a producer in LA, her and her mother, she was only 16 at the time.
Wow.
16 or 17.
Wow.
And you know who Lena Park is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've done a radio show twice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Park,
that's right.
Her Korean name is Park
Jung-hyun.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was working at a studio. It was actually a Christian studio, but Lena's parents, father is a pastor. And so they come, because there's this like gospel contest that they had in LA. And it was a really big one. And at that time, they had these lyrics that needed a song melody written to it.
Oh, so, they had the lyrics, but not the...
Yeah, they had the lyrics. And then so I somehow wrote the song. I actually was the music director for the thing too.
Oh, okay.
During that time. But yeah, and then of course, she won first place.
Wow.
Yeah, and that contest. And then someone saw her in the audience and took her to Korea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was like
time.
90... Actually, that was like 93, 92, around that time.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I don't know if
you just aged.
When she was like 16.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. Like, and then I came first to Korea like maybe a few months before to kind of pursue one of my dreams was to be a film scorer.
Okay.
But at that time, if you're a film scorer at that time, you're like the lowest quality composer.
Really?
There was no money in film.
Yeah, it's hard to make money there.
There's no budget for film. So
unless you're like the Hans Zimmer, John Williams, like that.
Actually, even then, I think the budget was so low that nobody wanted to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. But there was some people who did some drama stuff that had a little bit bigger budget than movies.
Right.
And then this guy told me, he's a really famous guy. He wrote the music for 모래시계.
Oh,
yeah, he's a very famous guy.
Yeah.
And I was actually gonna go to Berkeley.
Berkeley.
But he's like, if you
College of Music.
I was going to
in Boston.
Yeah, but that guy told me if you want to do kayo, if you want to do music in Korea, you have to just do it. You have to write it, but don't do movies. Do kayo. Write for singers. So somehow I was able to do that. I think I had a pretty good break. It was really lucky for me because I had a friend who was a famous composer. He wrote for this singer named Shin Hyo-bum, who was a really good singer, like female singer, and he was her producer in a sense, and he was producing Yangpa. I don't know if you guys know Yangpa.
I do remember. Yeah,
and he was a good friend of mine, and heard one of my songs and really liked it.
Yeah.
And put it in her first album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the second title song. The first one was written by this American guy.
Okay.
And mine was the second title song. And I think that gave me a big break.
Yeah, opened the doors.
Because
right?
Yangpa just like blew up.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Lena was supposed to come out before Yangpa, but something happened in her company where she couldn't come out.
Just got delayed.
Yeah, it got delayed in many very odd, bad circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So Yangpa came out first, and she was only in high school. And Yangpa just blew up. I mean, we're talking like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
When was that? When
This was in 96, I believe. 96, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, I was freshman year of high school. Wow.
Oh, you're a freshman? Okay, so I don't know if you're supposed to reveal your age, but
we don't. Yeah, we're okay.
Okay, what year were you born?
I was born in 82.
82. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because Yangpa was born in 79.
Oh,
And she was in high school at the time.
Dang.
So yeah, and
She's Yangpa Nuna.
yep.
She's 동생들이.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So wow, I mean, you know, like, so you started like kind of during the what do you call it? I mean, for me, I really didn't listen to like K-pop, you know, back then.
Yes.
But my sister was into it
Oh, okay.
as a child, right? So all these names are familiar because of the fact that like that's when the like Koreatown Plaza had like this
Yes.
store called Music Plus.
Yes.
Oh,
Right,
I don't know.
right,
about this.
and then
I know the story
and
now.
this is where like all the kids that wanted to listen to K-pop,
Yeah.
if they don't have family members sending them CDs or whatever cassette
That's right.
tapes,
This was pre-internet.
right,
so
right, they
you
would
had to
go
find a-
to Music Plaza to like buy these, you
Yeah.
know. And so my sister would like had like fucking HOT
Okay.
and like that. So that
Cool,
that so
We had
that's
a music store.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in New York, we had like Morning Glory.
yeah.
They sold. I don't think they had a music store.
They just had poorly written stationery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so like, you know, like 96, 97 is, you know, like kind of that era of just like K-pop,
Yeah.
even reaching kind of America to a certain extent, right?
Yes.
At least for the Korean Americans that like that shit, right? So
So you immigrated to Korea at that time then? Or were you just writing music with people out here?
Oh yeah, I immigrated to to America when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah, and then I came back when I was 25.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's when I started my career. Like, not started yet, but
Yeah.
somehow I got that break with Yangpa.
Yeah.
And then after that, Lena's album came out, and that did pretty well too. I mean, it wasn't like the 대박 that she did when she did 나는 가수다 or anything, but during that time, she did quite well, and yeah, she became like extremely famous during 나는 가수다. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So that George Hyung got his comeback on that too, right?
I mean, but Solid was
he's always
always
been
like big at that time.
Solid was 92 or 93. That's when they blew up.
Yeah.
And then they blew up again in the second album.
Yeah. So, some people as a producer, like, what do they call it? They call it a 효자곡, which means like,
Song?
no, meaning like there are certain songs that like help pay the bills.
Oh yeah.
right. Like
yes.
that paid off something, or you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, they walk around. Oh,
right.
This song paid off this car.
Right.
Talk about.
So, like, do you have in your mind some 효자곡s that you've worked on?
I actually do. I think definitely one Yangpa's song really helped me out a lot during that time, and Lena's Park Jung-hyun's song, it's called "P.S. I Love You." That one helped me.
Yeah.
That one helped me big time to continue my career as a songwriter.
Right.
I mean, as a composer.
Yeah.
And then later on, there's this singer. She was probably one of the best singers in Korea that I think, vocal-wise, tone-wise. She calls herself An1 now, but her name is An.
I know that.
Yeah, and I wrote a song for her in the first album, but her first album didn't do too well. First album, the song is like, it had like a children's choir and that kind of inspirational concept. But the second song was called 혼자 하는 사랑, and that one like did really well, but not to the Daejungs. But even to the Daejungs. But that song really helped me probably more than any other song, because, I mean, like everyone in Korea, you know how like when you're young in America, you copy Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey to become a singer.
Yeah.
Anne was the person to copy in Korea.
Oh, everyone copied her.
Every idol that you can think of in Korea, they all know who Anne is, and they all know that song. So everybody knew that song who are musicians.
Interesting. Yeah.
And unfortunately, if that was like more Daejung, known for Daejung, but then it was a lot of famous idol singers did sing it, so it did become a little bit famous. Especially recently, I don't know if I told you guys about that, but recently Iori came out. And she came out, it wasn't recent, it was like actually many months ago. And then she came out and said that like it was her favorite song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she sang it in the car with this other Super Junior guy. I think he's Super Junior.
Okay.
His name is Kangi or something.
I
don't really know him, but she's so famous that like that song went in the charts again.
Oh, restarted.
Yeah, restarted. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Or jump started it.
Dang, you got 3 hyojagoks. You know what I mean? You know, but that's there's like what's that group Busker, right?
Yeah,
they have like a song per season.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every time it's like summertime or fall.
Yeah.
That shit plays and it's on the charts again, right? You know what I mean? So like, I can imagine whoever has worked on it has points on it, or just like yes. Fall's coming, right? So, wow, you got 3 hyojagoks.
I'm sure you have more than it. Those are
I think those are the 3 hyojagoks. And then I did write several other songs. Like I wrote for Yoonmire, Tasha, for her solo album.
Nice.
And then also for
I love her.
It was she's one of the best. Yeah.
She's super talented. Like
one of the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Definitely.
You know.
Yeah, and the SCS I think was one of the things, but it was more in the later years for SCS. It was actually the album it was their last album actually.
Okay.
But that helped me a lot as well.
SCS.
Yeah, SCS song. Yeah.
Yeah, and Anne actually signed with
Yoonmire's company. I don't know if she's there now, but yeah. So
wow,
it's
God, man, like why don't you get into songwriting for
I mean,
you know what I
I've
mean?
tried. I've just keep
and composing
working with the wrong people. Not to like put down the people I work with.
Yeah, but okay, so that is a question. Like, obviously, we don't have to name like names, but like in terms of like in all of entertainment, all over the world, there's a lot of kind of shadiness, shady deals, right? Especially like back in the days when you even said that like certain things didn't happen with Lena and whatever. Like
I kind of want to ask you that because there's like in the States there's a little bit more security when it comes to your publishing deals and your here it's a little less I don't want to say stable, but for me it's been hard to kind of get a fair deal at times. But I remember I did a press thing with Yoonmire one time. And Tiger JK. And they were sitting next to me during the thing. And then they asked me one question. They asked all the artists questions and stuff, but for me specifically, they asked just one question. They were like, so what's the difference between working in the US and Korea? And I said, well, I work a lot more in Korea than the US, but I get paid a lot less here. And then Yoonmire, like under her breath, she was like, oh, controversial. I could hear her say it. And I was like, oh no, man. And the next time I saw Tiger JK, we were at South by Southwest and we were having breakfast. And he was like, yo, man, don't say that. Don't say anything negative about like Korean, he understood where I was going at, but I was like, I wasn't trying to be controversial. Of course. I was just being truthful.
Yeah.
Because I only have so little time to explain myself. Like people could take it the wrong way. It's just be careful with that because he was just giving me some advice.
But I think it should be like, it's not even to, no, I mean, if things can be better, then why not? Why not talk about it as opposed to like, people in the music industry might take it like, yo, like, I mean, but
I'm not the one, I'm the one like trying to sustain that, like I'm not so much a warrior. Like, let's say if I was in it a long time and I was able to have more power in terms of like, making a big fuss about it rather than being a nobody and making a fuss about it and then getting blacklisted to a sense. I've been like kind of pushed out of some circles because of making a fuss about like percentages and points and stuff like that when it comes to some people I worked out with here. But it's very dangerous. Like I won't even go any further. Like it definitely won't name names, but it's like it is what it is, like I think, but Korea, it's gotten better. I will say that. Right. Like every time I do work out here in songwriting, like I know at least to ask the right questions and get what's rightfully owed to me. I think I just met some of the wrong people where they took advantage of me and like kind of cut me out because I didn't ask for stuff.
Yeah.
So have you run into like things like that? I don't want you to put anyone in the spot, but like
I won't
years ago
name anyone in the spot, but I don't know if this would be controversial. I don't think it is, but I do remember back in the day during the 90s, mid 90s, the entertainment company were run by more gangsters and people like that.
I heard that.
Yeah. And now, of course, a lot of big companies, and it's much better, much safer, Yeah, and there was actually a few times where, I won't name names, but I got involved, not personally, but I was involved with a singer, and they actually put me in a van. Like there's these guys, gangster guys, that put me in a van and had a stick and was gonna beat me up.
Oh, what the?
Because the singer was hiding out because that person was going to get beat up, and there was some controversy with that. And then I was really close with that person, so they knew that. And then the dude, I think, came out of prison. He was in prison or something. I don't know exactly what happened. And then because I was close with him too, but he was close, and he knew that I was close with that person, so. He somehow tricked me to come to this cafe. Like someone told to call, and someone called me that told me to go out to that cafe to meet that person, another person, right? But then that person later said, "I'm so sorry, I had to do that." And I was like, "Okay, what happened?" Man. And then that guy comes. I haven't seen him in a long time, and then he just says, "Come with me." And then I go there, and there's like these 8 guys in a van open.
Oh shit!
He had this they had these sticks, and then the good thing is, though, I knew the guy very well. So, and the guys were like huge gangsters, like the biggest gangsters in Korea. And then they asked me, okay, where is that person? Because I think since the person was hiding out, and they thought I knew, but the person didn't tell me where they were because they knew that I was going to get in trouble. So I told them, okay, this is what happened, and that's all I know, and they didn't tell me where I don't know. And then the head gangster guy said, I think he's telling the truth. So they let me go.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
So they were trying to rough you up for information.
Yeah, they were.
They just thankfully, thankfully they believed you.
Yeah, because it was like there was no other thing but the truth. I mean, I really didn't know. So yeah. So it was one like that. I think even everything else is just run like the entertainment business itself was run like that. But now it's much better.
I mean, obviously now there's, I think with the advent of like social media and just like camera phone and everything where like you can't get to that level of like, oh, 형씨, 들어오세요, right? And then like, we can't do that anymore, right? There's CCTV there everywhere, right? But goodness.
Back in the day.
By the way, the what do you call it? The trying to muscle you for information, the technique. kind of weak.
It was crazy.
Kind of weak. It's not like a James Bond film where you're like, I'm gonna cut off one of your fingers, motherfucker. It was just like fucking some baktegi.
I mean, I thought it was gonna be like a Suge Knight like ending kind of thing. Yeah. Thank goodness he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
I mean, that's like that even in back in the days in America. I mean, it's an alleged story, but like Suge Knight held Vanilla Ice outside a building, by his ankles, and basically threatening to drop him, be just sign over or something. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's not like a Korean only thing. I think as time progresses, it's better that way.
But you've been out in Korea ever since, basically.
Oh no, I actually went back, and then I came back again one time because I joined this entertainment company, and then after I stayed here to do a little bit of that, that's when I met you.
Okay.
And then I went back, and then I just like got a regular job and stuff like that. And then I came back again like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And then ever since that, I'm not more of a writer anymore because I mean I could do like OSTs and stuff like that, but you know how things are like idols and things like that. And first of all, I'm not good at doing that stuff, but I think also because I don't really have a passion for that kind of music. It's like a different era, I guess. So I of course I can copy and try to make it.
Right.
I think I'd be miserable if I try to write songs like that.
So do you listen to like the newer stuff, whether it's like you said, the idol stuff or whatever?
Honestly, for instance, I love BTS, some of BTS's music. I mean, obviously, it's like the top people in the world writing for them and stuff. So the songs are incredible. But I think, I don't know if this is biased, but like some of the let's say like the cutesy girl catchy kind of thing, those kind of songs I'm not really that into. And especially my songs were like, like 혼자 하는 사람 PS I Love You, not a regular person can sing it in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
So I think I definitely don't have passion to write something like that, even if I could, I think. Well, I don't think I could, but even if I could, I don't think I would.
Yeah. For songs like that, they're more like ballads, would you say?
Mostly of the songs that are ballads.
But then you do all you make the melodies or top lining.
At that time, there was no such thing as top lining in a sense. So I would be on the piano and I would just play. And then, for instance, I think it's also an emotional thing because music is emotion. Let's say that, for instance, you're really happy or you're really sad first. Like let's say you break up with someone or something like that, and you sit on the piano and a certain melody and certain feel comes. Yeah, and that's how I personally that's real music because it's emotion.
Yeah.
And that there was a few songs that I wrote like that became title songs and stuff like that. Actually, so.
Were they based on like personal circumstances or like just collectively you just bring all these emotions that
a lot of the times, but like for instance, PS I Love You, it's really interesting because I wrote there's a PS I Love You, people who are big fans know this. What happened is when she first came, before all that stuff happened where she had to like that all these bad stuff happened. When I first worked on an album, PS I Love You was a song called 첫 눈. And it was the same melody except like maybe the verse, but it had a total different lyrics.
Okay.
And then after Lena went into a really big company, I kind of like rearranged because it never came out. So I rearranged that and then wrote PS I Love You. But that particular song, I was on my grand piano in LA. And I was just by myself and I just wrote. I don't think I felt any emotion, but you know how sometimes, just like the song I wrote for Yangpa, it just comes out just in one. I'm sure you know. Like when you're struggling for a few days to write a song, it's usually not a good song.
Yeah. The ones that
come out in like 5 or 10 minutes, for instance,
totally.
like all at once. Yeah. So PS I Love You definitely was one like that.
But when Lena comes in to do like the vocals on it, you know, she's going by the melody that's written out. But do you let her run with it at all, or like just
melody wise, it's set. Yeah. But the arrangement wise, for instance, ad lib version, like PS I Love You, it's crazy how she did the 돌고래 thing in the end. PS I Love You. It's just one of the highest songs. And that's probably why people can't sing it. I mean, it's like crazy. I mean, Anne's song too. There's this thing that Anne does in the end in the bridge that it's like a total riff of Whitney Houston, and not a normal person can do that.
It's not humanly possible for most people.
돌고래.
Dolphin.
But I try to go for, I think, you know how there's like 대중 songs, like really easy songs, and then there's songs that are like jazz, for instance. But my influence mostly was songs from like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. But I thought that they had both. It had the musical content and the musical sophistication. And it was 대중. That's what I thought Whitney Houston was. That's the kind of song that I wanted to write. But in Korea, there's 노래방s. Where people have to sing along. And that was my big thing. Like people can only listen to that song. But I think the reason why 혼자 하는 사랑 did a little better is because a lot of people sing that song.
Right.
And especially, I guess, people who love singing do as well, but then 대중's as well. So I think the melody is a little bit 대중 than PS I Love You.
I mean, but the other part is like, you're right. Like people sing at the 노래방s, right? But then also it's kind of a marker even for like someone that's not a singer. If they put that on, that's like, okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to challenge the final boss. You know what I mean? And be like, be like, yo,
true.
I can throw down, motherfucker, right? And that's really kind of like the final boss version of the game, right? So I think that's I mean, guys and girls, they have those songs that, like when they put in the song and then, a lot of times you don't pay attention after like the first whatever, but there's certain songs where you're like, oh shit, that's a hard song. And then you have to pay attention.
It's kind of a drag when people put in like ballads and they can't sing it. It's just like, oh, we gotta sit through this. At least like all the upbeat songs, everyone's like, at least they could like dance to it and like, but if they can pull it off, it's totally worth it. But most people can't.
So Joe, approximately how many of your songs are in the 노래방 기계?
That's a good question.
Actually, I think almost all of them. Especially these days. Especially, I mean, because a lot of the songs were in the album and they were pretty famous people. So if you search it, almost all of them. But especially now, even if in the later songs, it's in there just because of how the internet is now.
Right.
So almost all of them, I would say, but
no, but there's certain songs like Bobby, how many of your songs are in a 노래방 기계?
Zero. Zero.
Really? I heard you can actually pay to put it in.
Oh, now I mean they have different services that actually have it, but like the one in my mind that is the official is the Korean. English 노래방 song.
What is it?
All the same songs.
금강, 태진, like those companies.
Do you ever put in your own songs and sing your own songs?
Do I sing my own songs?
Yeah. And say, oh, by the way, I wrote this.
No. Never. I can't sing because I'm an awful singer. I think back in the day, I used to live with the very first person I used to live with is 이준호 from 서태지 아이들, right?
Oh, really?
And I was living with him, and that's when he was making 영탁's Club.
Oh,
and at that time, he actually offered. He wanted me to be a singer, but I said, "Hyung, I can't sing." He said, "It doesn't matter." And for me, it does matter because. And so, I would have been a singer if I knew how to sing well. Not that I don't think I sing bad, but I don't sing like a singer, and I know how to portray the feel and to direct the singers and stuff like. But me myself as a singer, no, I don't have a talent for that.
Kanye sings on albums. Like he can't sing for shit.
And he is getting canceled left and right now.
We don't have to get into that, but jeez.
But that's what it's very interesting, like to see like I always ask. I remember the first time I met George Hyung, Kim Jong, right? It was in New York. He was one of the guest judges for Collaboration New York, right? And I was a special guest performer there. Afterwards, we went to a 노래방, and then I said, "Hyung, you need to sing one of your own songs, right? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, right?
Is that a faux pas? Is that a no? Like with people like I heard this one time. I heard a friend of ours in Japan that lives in Japan one time hosted John Mayer, and they went to a notabang, and he was singing his own songs, and people apparently were like making fun of him, like for singing his own songs.
Yeah.
Like, is that like for Korean singers, notabang is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind if they sing their own songs. I think it's really cool.
Me too. That's why I was like, oh, you need to, because I've heard the CD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I met Jung-hwa that way. And then I was sitting, I didn't know it was her song, but she sang one of her songs, and I was like, wow, you really are a singer. That was really good.
And you didn't know who she was, and she didn't know.
And someone was like, Bobby, that's her song. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like,
that's good though. Celebrities like when they don't know you. Well,
is that true? I don't know.
Some people they take it the other way. Like, how dare you not know me?
That's only if they're not that famous. But if there's like famous like Jung-hwa, they think that's a very cute thing. They like that.
She was really nice to me, regardless. So, yeah.
So George, I went to 노래방 with George and Lena many times. I think they never sing their songs unless the people like really beg them to sing. That's the only time.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't. They would only sing like a pop song or another song that they like, of course.
Man, I fucked up. I shouldn't have
put
asked
him on the
this.
spot.
But this is like 15 years ago.
You're like a fan though. Like you're saying, hey, sing the song. Like that's.
It'd be bad if you were like, it was better on the album.
CD version, please. None of this ad-lib shit. Give me the CD version. Right.
Yeah, I have a kind of fun story. One time, I took Lena to Lee Byung-hun's birthday party.
Wow.
Because he asked me to bring, and we went there, right?
Yeah.
And then, well, the point is not that. The point is, there's a singer named Im Chang-jung, as you guys know, right?
The actor. He's an actor
and
singer.
he comes out and says the story about that night that I know very well because I was there. I was the one that he was mentioning because he said like, because he's really close with Lee Byung-hun, right? And then he's like, okay, I went to Byung-hun Young's birthday party, and then I guess Byung-hun Young called me because he wanted to like 자랑해 me in that 자리, and then there was a 감독님 there who wanted to 자랑해 their singer.
자랑해 like make you look good.
Because you know like this is my
songwriter,
singer, right? And then funny thing is he goes out. And then as soon as he arrives, he goes to sing. Like, and they already turn it on. As soon as he arrives to the room, and then he goes sings while everybody's clapping. And then like they're all talking. And then later on, there's this girl that goes out and everybody's just talking amongst themselves. And then she starts singing, and then everybody, and that was Lena. And everybody is like focusing on her, and then everybody was like so surprised. And then she tells her that was. She becomes a really famous singer. That comes, I don't know why, but it's not on YouTube anymore. But he literally comes out and tells that story. And he tells it like as a contest and all that, but it wasn't like that. But I totally remember that day. It was like one of the funnest days because of that.
Because like I remember seeing that story
really?
on a variety show somewhere where it was kind of like, you know, my Lee Byung-hun was like, oh, so this is my 동생. He can sing. He's a really good singer. So he kills it. Right. So you know he's kind of like fuck it, like, you know. And then all of a sudden there's this tiny little girl that fucking belts it. Everyone's like, what the fuck, you know? Right.
Yeah. They said
right.
I had a similar. I told this on the podcast before, but I don't know if I told you this, but I one time. That Jung-hwa time, I was at this notabang with her and a bunch of other celebrities in there. And then I didn't know who half the people were, but like they were all like really talented. Everyone's singing really great. Jung-hwa sings. This other person that's like just moved to Korea. She sings a song, right? And it's Claudia Kim, who's an actor.
An actress.
Avengers, right? The Age of Ultron or something. Anyway, that was like maybe 11 years ago. We were at this norebang all together with all these like famous people, and then she gets on the mic and just kills a song.
Really?
It's really good. And you have like managers and people in the room, and the one manager got up and was like, "Sign her right now!"
Wow.
Like somebody sign her now, right?
Oh.
And then Jung-ah says, "Hey, Bobby's a singer too."
Really?
And she has me so I put in I'm like, I'm not that kind of singer. Like I can't but I put in a song. I put like in a Coldplay song or something. And literally like 20 seconds into the song, like people were like, they went back to their conversation. Like, hey, so how do we sign this Claudia? I'm like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so embarrassed. I'm like, I'm not like a singer.
That's why I don't like going to a norebang, because number one, they will inevitably force you to sing.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not a good singer?
I'm not a good singer. And on top of that, like, I don't even know how to make it entertaining, the stuff that I can sing. Right. So there's some comedians that I know that when they go to a norebang, they're not necessarily the best vocalists, but they'll make it fun. Yeah. Right. Either that or you're fucking good. Yeah. But if not, then it's just like, hey, so it's like, wow, fucking.
Danny, you have some songs like that because Danny can rap some songs, right? I remember, but it's only interesting for the first half of the song.
Yeah.
And then people are kind of on to the next.
That's why I like to see the show.
Yeah.
I don't like to put on the show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so that's the one part about the norebang, especially if you go with like fucking professionals.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to norebangs with some
a lot of
professionals. Like, oh damn, I don't want to. My turn. You know, and then I see screen red roses do.
Well, I like going. So I've been to norebang a lot with the No Brain guys, right? And they're like punk rockers, so I don't mind them singing like their own hits, right? Because it's the kind of song everyone can like their anthems. You can like they put the mic in your face and you start jumping with them and singing the chorus together. I love that kind of, as long as you bring the energy, I think it's fine if you sing your own songs.
They are like they were in Shincheon maybe like 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Dolly told me.
Right. And so I every day I try to like, if I'm not going to the gym that day, I'll just try to walk a little bit just to like, you know, not die early, right? And then I'm like, as I'm walking, I hear like a familiar tune and voice. So I go to the music and they're rehearsing, right? Okay. It's cold. It's starting to get cold, right? And they're rehearsing and they're
outside.
all like padded, you know, whatever. And they're just 네, 감사합니다, right? And then during the show, like the live show where it was cold, it was about to drizzle, and it's packed. They're all in just like, you know, short sleeves, and I'm like, wow, the way that they get the crowd to move and react and have fun, and I'm like, that is a skill that I truly am envious about. Yeah. Because I can't get motherfuckers to move. I could just make people to be like, ha, ha, ha. That's all I got, right? So no, they're great.
That's what they do best. That's what they're known for, right?
Yeah, they're crowd pleasers for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they came to Austin a few times, and so
yeah.
And Crying Nut too.
Yeah, they've all played at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
So if you had how do you say, like a wish list of artists that you haven't worked with that you want to work with
in Korea,
yes,
right now,
who would it be?
Okay, there's a few.
Yeah,
there's a female singer named I think it's Lynn. Her name is Lynn. She's pretty famous. No, not that. Not the older Lynn who's married to MC to the Max. This other girl, younger girl. She actually did come out and do a remake of 혼자 하는 사랑.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I think like she's one of the most talented singers. So I definitely want to work with her one time.
Have you? Does she know that?
She doesn't know that. I don't know her.
The song once.
I don't know her, but I did recently go to Lena's concert, and I heard she was one of the guests.
Oh,
so
really?
I wanted to talk with her, but the day that I went, it was someone else. It was Pagerin or something. It was another singer. But yeah, she's definitely one of them. As far as my favorite singers, of course, in Korea, I think I've already worked with them. As I don't know if you guys know Sohyang, of course. Sohyang and Lena and Park Iyounghyun. I didn't tell you about that song that I did with them. There was a song that I wrote, and the three of them came. And they sang together.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called the Diva Project or something. And it's like, especially, those three are probably one of the top threes in Korea, but during that era. But especially Sohyang, technically, I mean, I think Sohyang is probably one of the best vocalists technically in the world, even among American people. I mean, and she's really famous in YouTube these days because of that. And yeah, and then there was like that song. There was only the song, and I even had a bridge, but I thought it wasn't like interesting enough. So at the last minute before the recording, I wrote another part, like a ad-lib part of the song right after the bridge, and then it comes back into the end. But I just put it in there, and I told Sohyang, because they did record separately. They look like they're singing together, but they recorded separately. And then I told Sohyang, so yeah, go ahead and ad-lib here. And then she's like, oh, I love that kind of stuff. And then she goes in here and just listens once, and it was during the recording. I mean, she comes and listens during the recording once or twice, and then goes in there and just kills it. The person filming the music video, all of them, the mouth is like, yeah, she's just crazy. She's not human. Yeah. She's one of the most incredible vocalists in the world, literally in the world.
I'm totally geeking out on this episode. Finally, I don't want to take too much of your time on little things that inside stuff. I'll probably ask you later about it, but how often do you because as a songwriter, I go through cycles of dry spells, and I writer's block, right? Everyone has writer's block, but I don't really have a way out of it. What I do is I live life, and then hopefully it just comes back at it. I'll get inspired just because I'm living life. But do you have a way out of writer's block? Do you get it even, or do you
honestly, I feel like I'm in a writer's block right now.
Oh, really?
I feel like that because one of the techniques that I found one time that could help me, maybe just one time even, is I always wrote on the piano, but then I wrote on the guitar, and a total different kind of melody and rhythm comes out. Yeah. And so maybe that I used that before. Okay. But even that time, I didn't have a writer's block. I just wanted to see if I can write in guitar.
But it gave you another avenue of
totally different aspect. Like if an elephant's nose is there, now it's the side of the elephant, or it's a different perspective of the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you might, I don't know if you play piano or not, but
a little bit.
You might want to just put something more melodic comes out when you play the piano compared to the guitar and stuff. So that's maybe one way. Or as we mentioned before, when you're really sad, or we're talking extremely sad, not just sad. Yeah. I think long time ago, this was long time ago, I had just broken up, and I sat on the piano, and then just this melody, it's not even just a melody, this piano riff just comes out, and it just comes out without me even thinking about it seems like. And then I wrote a song to that, and then I gave that song to a famous singer as well. But those kind of the times when you don't really even think about it. Yeah. So, but I think it's definitely inspiration. It's definitely. Yeah. 근데 the problem for me now is I used to just write a song because I just wanted to write. These days, I have to write a song thinking of who to give it to. And then when that happens, it's too commercial. So I have to have this formula of making it here in the chorus, building up from the pre-chorus. It's all mechanical. Right, of course, as a hit song, that's necessary. Yeah. But I think that's why I'm stuck, is because I'm stuck in the circle of things I've always used. Yeah. And so I am stuck right now. But those two things that I talked about maybe help you. I don't know if you've been do that before, but.
I mean, he's like perennially always sad. Like,
I mean, most of my songs, that's actually a big thing of mine. Like when I'm the most saddest, I give it a shot. I pick up the guitar and something usually comes out, and I know that's like the kind of inspiration that I can connect with.
Yes.
But now that I live with 2 kids and my wife, we share a room. Like often when I have inspiration, I can't jump on a guitar anymore. So it's I don't write as much, but when I do, like I try to make sure that I'm going through something. And normally like it's always worked for me when I'm sad, because I know that it's something that I can use as an avenue to get through it. But I've tried it when I was happy too, or like I'm like going through other emotions, but it's just not as successful for me. So most of my songs just end up being sad.
Do you always write the lyrics together with your melody?
It's always been different.
Okay.
But it comes in different forms. But like I think I've been the most successful when I actually sit down and then it just comes out of me.
Of course.
With the guitar and while singing. So, but I've been successful though also in writing lyrics first. Like if I have an idea and then I just put all that together. But most successfully, like when I'm going through something and I have the guitar.
Absolutely, I think it's absolutely necessary. But I always struggled with that. It's called daejung.
Yeah.
Korean.
Daejung,
which means very commercial.
Like for
music.
Okay.
Yeah, and,
same here.
Yeah, and a long time ago, I thought that I was very daejung. Like when I wrote for Yangpas, and I think it is daejung. But after a while, you know how I've been writing just because I wanted to, and then it actually became a career, and I had to write for people.
Right.
That's when I had to, I had to write a hit song for someone.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes a little bit difficult. And I struggled with that for a long time because at that time, it's like 똥꼬집. It's like unnecessary 고집 that I used to have was that it has to be this musical and I mean, it is very musical and it has to be very high quality.
Yeah.
But then when you get older, all that means nothing. That means nothing. And I had too much like pride of that, I think. I think I would have written a lot more songs if I would have actually just thought about making money.
Okay.
Like, but I didn't. I don't think I ever did that. But thinking back now, I should have done that and then just worked on my stuff that I just loved now after being enormously successful commercially.
Right.
I see.
Yeah, and there is a very a kind of a close composer of mine. He's one of the most famous composers in Korea, and at that time in the beginning, I didn't look up to him. I thought he copied everything and like I thought it was like so easy and like catchy and stuff like that. But then I was in LA and I go to Guitar Center with him. He's playing the piano. He plays everything from jazz to heavy metal on the piano. I'm like, and he's like so great. And I was like, oh, okay, this guy writes on purpose like this to make hit. He's one of the greatest hit songwriters in Korea. Even now. I don't know how much he does now, but he does a lot of movies and stuff like that. But he wrote like 보고 싶다.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really famous guy.
What's that guy's name? It's like did he also do
he did all the cool songs.
My Sassy Girl it's not the same singer. That's not the same no, the songwriter.
Sassy Girl? Which one?
I Believe.
Oh no, that's 형석영.
Oh yeah.
That's 형석영. But 형석영 too.
Yeah.
He is kind of like more on I think my end where he's just totally gifted in high quality music and yet it's daejung.
Okay.
Like he's like someone I like the song 아름다운 이별. When I heard that he wrote, because I'm really close with him too.
Okay.
Because he's really close with George.
Yeah.
And I used to hang out with him all the time. And then when I heard he wrote that song, I was like, oh, like one of the the other guy, he is more like dance songs and like catchy songs, like cool and like some of the most he wrote for Young Turks Club's title song and stuff. And so he's made an enormous amount of money. And I thought it was really smart. Like if he didn't know how to do it, and he had to do it that way because there's no other way for him to do it except copying something or like, but it's not. He's one of the most talented musicians I ever met, and yeah,
that's good to hear.
Yeah,
no, because it's very interesting. Like, I mean, I don't want to call it selling out, but like being more commercial or being, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like, you know, there's the artist in people, you know, want to not like give it to you easy, right? They like, I want to give it to you. Like every artist kind of wants to give their art out like it's omakase. Fucking 주는 대로 처먹어, right? Really, that's how we all think, right? Yeah. And then there's a hyung of mine. He one time was a drummer for a band called Next, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't the main original drummer. Okay. He filled in like in the middle. But when they were doing the auditions to get this drummer, this guy is like going like all like, you know, just crazy, you know, boom, all advanced technique. And then so the leader was like, 그러지 말고.
Yeah.
Hey, right? And then he's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is basic shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that shit, right? Yeah. And so he's like, anyway, you know, like, just go on tour with us, right? And so, you know, especially rock, there's like a drum solo or whatever, and everyone's like, hey, right? But then he goes, now. And then he goes, oh, fuck. And all of a sudden, like the whole like crowd, like 10,000 people are like just like on beat doing it like the same way. And he goes, okay, I get it, right. Like fuck this, like, you know, like me trying to be this like professional artist guy, you know what I mean? And so he got humbled, right? Yeah. Because even for me, he tells me like, he goes, dude, I love your jokes, but you might want to have some of them that are more for the daejung.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not even just a cursing part, but it's just kind of like some of it is kind of maybe sometimes a little bit too, I don't want to say smart, but you know what I mean? Like it's the way you twist that shit and the whatever.
Yeah, it's not selling out. If it's just like, it's like a means to an end.
Yeah.
You have to kind of give to get, right?
Yeah.
So.
But I definitely struggled with that a lot. Yeah. And you know what's interesting is when Lena first came out with her first album, you know, I don't know if you know, but Lena hates pop R&B. She hated it.
Oh, really? Okay.
She was like an alternative rock kind of song. But
oh, really?
In the beginning, that's the kind of stuff that she was listening to is not daejung at all. Uh-huh. And then her and I were discussing about that, and she knew though, very smartly, she knew that she had to do pop R&B.
Right.
And then her conversation, her and me was talking about, okay, you can do this now, but when you do a concert, you can do your own stuff at that time. Once you make all that money, be famous, and that's what she does now.
Yeah.
So even if people, whether they appreciate it or not, she can do her songs, but then she can play her songs that she writes. Because she writes some of the stuff that she writes, which I love, especially lyrically. It's incredible. Mm-hmm. Her lyric writing is just incredible. And she would do that song whether people... But they love it anyways because they love her. Yeah. And that's the discussion that I had with her. I'm so glad she went that way at that time. And I don't think it's selling out at all at that time. Yeah. It's something she had to do, and which was really smart.
Yeah. I mean, like, even in my field, like, there's a lot of no-name stand-up comedians, right? We're all no-names, to be honest. And then so they're all trying to, like, push the envelope and do crazy shit. And I go, I totally respect it. I'm not going to tell you to change. But if you put asses in seats, the reason why is because they're fans of you, right? Yes. After that, they will most likely like the majority of the shit that you say because they're fans of you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If they don't know you, then you have to, you know, you have to work a little harder.
By the way, we all went to Danny's show on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was like great. It was great. It was like a sold out show. Because Danny went Instagram famous last week. Like,
it's
crazy. It's crazy though. In just 1 week, even.
It's kind of overwhelming. You know why? Because like, you know, I didn't turn off my notifications, right? And so I remember on last Thursday, I was drunk after the show, and some girl was throwing up in front of the club, right? So I'm like, oh, 괜찮아. I'll call you a cab, right?
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for the cab, and I upload like 3 of these videos on Instagram and TikTok, and then Instagram, it blew up to 1 million within a day and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm TikTok.
Yeah.
And then later Instagram picked up, and that same joke, now it's way past
2 point something million.
Yeah.
Right?
And then like my followers are like, I started at like 3,000 followers. Now I'm at like 26K.
By the time this comes out, let's check it again. Let's
so I didn't turn off my notifications. Yeah. So like I woke up and I'm looking at my, I go on Instagram, and then like I'm seeing like, yo, what the fuck's going on, right? Yeah. And then like every 2 seconds there's like 30 more like things, and I'm like, oh my god.
Joe got his 초대 for your show, like the invitation to your show before it blew up, because before, like early in the week, Danny was like, oh man, I only like sold 15 tickets so far.
Yeah.
And then by the time like we were so awesome. Like you had already got a ticket, so at one point Danny was like, dude, it's sold out.
Yeah.
Like it was what? You went from like trying to figure out how to sell the rest of these tickets. So like literally just days later, it was like Danny had to add another show.
Yeah,
so
already as of right now, 70% sold.
There you go. My goodness.
Right.
Crazy.
So
keep the momentum going.
Yeah. I mean,
so happy for you, man.
And that day, I guess, I mean, we could talk about it, right? So the day that I did that show was actually my 5th year anniversary of being in Korea.
Oh yeah,
it was exactly 5 years, right? And so it was kind of interesting that like exactly 5 years ago I came to this country, and now I'm doing this show, and it's sold out and relatively, like I wanted to not go like, how do you say, like, sometimes you tell a jokes, it's like 100% like bang, bang, bang. I wanted to be a little bit more free and loose, and just like, 힘줄 때는 힘주고 뺄 때는 빼고. That was kind of my plan, so I can just see what works. And so it was good and all. And then unfortunately, that also was the day that there was the terrible situation in Itaewon.
Oh yeah,
right?
That's right.
So
we were finding out like as we were drinking after the show,
right?
Everyone was finding out at the same time. This is something's going on.
So I mean, it's bad, because like to me, it was a good day for me personally, and then afterwards I was like, yo, this is a goddamn tragedy, right?
I mean, I lived in Itaewon for 3 years, and when I first moved to Korea, and it was bad then.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people go to Itaewon on Halloween, and so it's probably one of the top reasons why I moved out of Itaewon, because how crazy it gets during Halloween, certain times of the year.
Right.
It's just out of control.
Yeah.
Like, and so in the last 5 years or so, it just kept getting worse. And then so I think the last couple of years, because of COVID, maybe it was like a little bit more regulated, or like less people were able to go out after a certain time. But I'm thinking maybe this year is like all the restrictions were lifted.
Yeah.
Everyone was just a little, it just turned out to be such a tragic, so sad. Just like I keep hearing more and more stories about the victims, like the people involved, and it's just like, the more and more you think about it, it just brings you down. Like we got to do better, I know a lot of the businesses also our friends own in Itaewon,
in that area.
They'll have to close for an unforetold time. They're going to struggle from it as well.
Right.
From like, so it's going to have a lasting effect, I'm sure, like in more ways that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
So it's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things like it's such a terrible situation, but then there's certain things that piss me off about certain reactions to that. You know what I mean? Like some people are like, well, some people, it was because of a drug, or some people got, like there's like random like false rumors, or some people go, well, you're dumb, why would you go to Itaewon on Halloween? And I go, yo man, like
stop with
that's stupid. Motherfuckers died, right? And we should be sad about it, regardless of what the cause was or why. You know what I mean? You're not gonna fix it. No one wants to hear your theory on what happened.
Right.
Let's all just be let's all
be supportive at this time.
Yeah.
It's like, regardless, we don't know the whole story, so we don't know like exactly.
Yeah.
But at the moment, let's mourn for the loss.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in mourning now, so
I think that's the right the right approach. You know what I mean? If you believe in prayer, then pray. Check in on your loved ones.
And thank you to everyone that I'm sure you guys, like a lot of people were hitting us up from that don't live in Korea or even live in Korea. Like everyone's checking up on each other and making sure that that we're okay, and the people we know that are okay. We know actually a lot of people that were there that night. And there's lots of videos being shared, and like a lot of those things, like you can't unsee it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of devastating things that we saw, and so
also I think the government is urging people not to put up those videos on social media just because of
it. Just sparks more like trauma, anxiety, and so we're trying to, even at work, like everyone was trying to be mindful of everyone's state of mind, because you never know how anybody can be affected by what they see.
Right.
And if it's going to affect the way that they act, and so our prayers go out to all the families and all the people personally inflicted and involved. So, and geez, like let's do better. Let's moving forward. Let's there's got to be better ways to handle situations like this. So it's sad. Sorry to end on such a sad note, but I think it's something that we
I mean,
it just happened.
We can't just look past it. You know what I mean? It happened. So
especially as a parent who have similar age child.
Yeah.
Just this morning, I was just like, it didn't happen, to me, but I can just imagine.
Oh yeah.
If that happened,
and
it just makes you cry, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
it's crazy. We're grateful actually that we were at Danny's club that night, and we were, some people at your club that night were planning on going to Itaewon after.
And they're all like, there are people, some of them I didn't know, and they're like, oh, 어디 가세요? And they're like, oh, 저 이태원 가려고. And I was like, hey, be safe.
Yeah.
So hopefully they made it. I mean, I don't know them personally. They came because of the Instagram shit.
Yeah.
And so like, hopefully they all made it out okay.
I was getting calls. I got a call from my mother-in-law. She's like, just making sure I wasn't Itaewon. She's like, where are you? Are you? Like, and I was like, oh, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not there. But she's like, come home, and I'm trying to get a taxi. I couldn't even get a taxi. So I ended up taking a kickboard or one of the scooters all the way from the club to my house. Really? Thankfully, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But I never wrote those things. They go so fast. They're like incredibly fast. It was a lot of fun actually. But then it was, unfortunately it's only been a couple days. So let's just hopefully only we can get through this all together. And I think we should wrap up soon. So let's well thank you for coming in, Joe.
Thank you.
It doesn't seem like, it seems like we were just talking to each other.
That's
what makes it more natural, I think.
Yeah.
Much more fun. And I noticed that like when you guys did, I've watched all your other episodes as well. And especially with people like Daniel Day Kim and some, you guys just know each other so long that it was so natural. And when people hear that, it just flows so well. And you guys have the perfect timing of talking. You don't interrupt each other. It just flows that's what's really interesting and fun to
thank
watch.
you.
That was something Dumbfounded said too. He was like he liked that everything kind of flowed a lot. Because I don't know if it. I watch this podcast too. They got a good like thing going too with their. It's all chemistry, right? And so Danny and I think we try our best to at least balance out like.
I mean, especially with the guests, like it helps when at least one of us has some sort of
reference or
knows the guest, and that way it just becomes more of the thing. And then afterwards, on the side, somebody can just, as the Koreans call it, tiki taka, right? No, but thank you for coming through.
Yeah, please. We went over an hour, and so normally that's a good sign that
I didn't even know. I thought it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah. So
I got a lot of. You guys need to go check out some. Actually, buy the music, buy the tracks, buy Joe's tracks. You know what I mean? Let him get another scarf.
All right,
man.
All right.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next week on the Noonchi podcast.
Bye.
Peace out.